I gotta admit, he was not on my radar, but he is now. What is up, San Antonio Spurs fans? Welcome to TSR Sports. I came across an article about Rasheer Fleming on Air Alamo, and some of you have been bringing him up lately. And I thought, should the Spurs draft Fleming? Well, we'll get into that in a few moments. Let's get into that article first. By the way, happy Monday. Hope you're having a good start to your week. San Antonio will need to add more shooting, good grief, as well as size. Yes, absolutely we need some size out there. But one player could check both boxes. Draft prospect Rasheer Fleming could fit the bill. Fleming has become a Spurs fan favorite to be selected with one of their 2 first-round picks. I've seen his name pop up more and more, and that's definitely one of the big reasons we're jumping into this article today. Fleming's potential fit with the Spurs is clear to see, with him being an athletic and long big man who can defend on the perimeter and at the rim, as well as score in the pick and roll. He can also space the floor, drilling about 42% of his 4.5 3-point attempts per game, so that's good. He's shooting well, and it's not a limited sample size. Let's get on with the article, and I did watch his highlights. I'll post the link to Air Alamo in the comments. Just to avoid any crazy copyright stuff. He can shoot, and yes, he can finish at the rim quite well. Why can he finish at the rim? Because he's 6'9" with a ridiculous 7'5" wingspan. Okay, he'd give San Antonio some much-needed help at power forward, and I don't know about center. I'd rather not keep playing these guys that are 6'9" at center. Looking at center Biyombo, center Sohan, center Barnes. What's next? Center CP3? Yeah, anything's possible, right, with our Spurs? Anyway, the Spurs have a solid power forward rotation with Harrison Barnes and Jeremy Sohan. Moving Sohan back to the starting lineup after next season seems like an obvious solution, but he and Wemby are a poor offensive fit. They started to mesh a little bit before Sohan's injury, but Sohan's lack of outside shooting certainly doesn't help the floor spacing for Wemby. That would be particularly true if Stephon Castle isn't able to become a high-volume three-point shooter. All signs point to Castle being the starting lineup next season, which should be Fox, Castle. Where's that leave Devin Vassell? Would he be, if we draft Fleming or any forward? Are they coming out? There's a little pickle there. Does Castle keep coming off the bench? Does Vassell come off the bench? We need more size out there. I can't see us starting Fox, Castle, and Vassell next year. That's just it's going to be the same thing again. We're just going to keep getting crushed on the rebounds, on the boards. Anyway, I digress. Having a versatile big who can spot up and knock down open threes, set screens, and roll to the basket, and also defend multiple positions on the other end of the floor would be something San Antonio needs long-term. We need it short-term as well, just for the record. Fleming should have enough size to scale up and play center. With the hypothetical rotation of Wemby, Fleming, and Sohan, each would be able to play both power forward and center, and gives the Spurs their most versatile big man core since Tim Duncan, Thiago Splitter, and Boris Diaw. All right. Then some strong words there, Air Alamo. That's okay. Last part of the article: if San Antonio were to use one of their 2 first-round picks on him, he probably wouldn't develop into a star. Nevertheless, he could potentially be a key rotation player who could help San Antonio for years to come. All right, my thoughts on this. He's projected as a mid to late first-round pick. Tankathon has him ranked at 22. I'm using Tankathon because we're going to bring up their board in just a few moments. March Madness, of course, could change everything on where these players are ranked. If somebody kills in March Madness, from talking to Miss TSR, Stephon Castle in the regular season was a good player with UConn, but then did terrific in March Madness. Was one of the reasons that the Spurs drafted him 4th overall, seeing how well he played with the pressure getting to Bennett with the pressure on him. I would say yes, I would draft him with our 2nd first-round pick right now, and this is where I mentioned Tankathon. It is looking like, and this is going to change. This is going to change so much. The Spurs right now are sitting at 9th. The Hawks have dropped down to 16th. Don't like seeing that. Atlanta start losing some games. So 16th overall, yeah, I'm good with that. Sure. But right now, we don't know where our Spurs are going to draft or where the Hawks' final draft position is going to be. We could move up. The Hawks, if they're a playoff team, it's not a lottery pick, and they're going to be out of the top 14. If they lose in the play-in game, then... Or play-in games? I forget. Do you have to lose twice? I feel like you have to lose twice in the play-in to be a lottery team. And right now, if the play-in was today, I believe the Hawks would actually play the Chicago Bulls. Which means we would be rooting for old buddies Zach Collins and Trey Jones to play very well and beat Atlanta. And Zach Collins and Trey Jones actually have been playing pretty darn good in Chicago. Both of them are starting. So that might be a video in the near future if they keep playing well. But that would be incredible if we would have to root for our old Spurs, former Spurs, to be a current team, beat the Atlanta Hawks. So I think that would be a lot of fun. Now, I'm going to keep track on this all year. I'm not going to bring it up in every video, of course, but this is this is where we're at right now. And one thing that I did really want to point out here that is alarming, that does not involve our team, but could certainly involve an opponent in the future. The Philadelphia 76ers right now are sitting at number 7. Their pick is top 6 protected. If they fall out of the top 6, the Thunder get their pick. The best team in the Western Conference, one of the best teams in the NBA, would get a top 10 lottery pick? That almost seems unfair, doesn't it? So there's the other caveat too. Let's say the Sixers finish at 6 and the Spurs are the only team to jump up and we jump up in the top 4. Again, we're pushing the Sixers down and the Thunder get their pick. Just the way the Thunder have built their team over the last few years is what we're, of course, trying to do, building a young core, setting up picks for in the future. So when we're a playoff team, a championship caliber team, we're going to still have high draft picks like the Thunder are doing right now. This is just crazy. As I look at that, I'm like, imagine if they got the 7th overall pick in a great draft class. Really seems unfair. Hopefully we're doing that. Hopefully in 3 years we're talking about how, wow, the Spurs are one of the best teams in the Western Conference, or 2 years, and how we're still getting a lottery pick from the Atlanta Hawks in 2027. We have their unprotected first-round pick. So hopefully in 2 years, I'm doing a video similar saying, Spurs fans, I can't believe we're the best team in the Western Conference, and we're getting the Hawks pick. They're sitting there right there, the 5th worst overall team in the NBA as they did. So I hope those days are coming. Hopefully good times are coming, because I want to wrap up the video with a couple shout-outs. The shout-outs are essentially to you guys. I want to thank you guys that are still coming to the live streams. One of you said last night, TSR, it must be hard being a Spurs content creator right now. Guys, it is. It is tough. One, as a fan, watching the team lose sucks, but then it's a double gut punch when just seeing how interest is so down right now in the team. And I get it. Wemby's out. Making the play-in is still mathematically possible. We're not. It's not. It's not going to happen. If it does, then somebody really stepped up for us, and I'll be all aboard on that, but we got to be realistic. It's probably not going to happen, especially with De'Aaron Fox likely to get shut down next week. All signs are pointing to he's probably going to get the surgery when we play the Lakers that day, so he's shut down. The good thing is Stephen Castle will be in the starting lineup, and that's one of the big reasons I'm going to still watch games. I'm also going to watch games because I made a promise to you guys. I'm going to try to cover every live game this season, and I'm going to do it even without Wemby, even with us losing, even in the same story every night that we're outsized, giving up open threes, getting out rebounded. It's really just tough to keep seeing the same problems every night. I'll also be there rooting Go Spurs Go, and I really want to thank you that are still hanging around too, watching this mess for the 6th year in a row. TSR Sports will be 6 years old on April 5th, 2019. 6 seasons of covering our Spurs, and they've had 6 straight losing seasons. That ends this season, damn it. They will be a winning team next year, so just have to fight through the losses. But we have a lot of good things in the future, and to give back to the people that have been loyal really through this process, because I know a lot of people have checked out in the season. They've told me they've checked out in the season. They said, TSR, I'm done with the year. See you next season. I'm like, okay, thank you. For those of you that are still sticking around, we are doing, the March Madness thing is in effect, and we have some winnable games this week. If you don't know, March Madness at TSR Sports is every time the Spurs get a win, we're going to do a giveaway at the end of the game during a live stream trivia. First person is correctly in the live chat will get 1 of 5 gifts that we'll send, of course, free of charge via Amazon Prime. So hopefully it's there in 2 days. But I'm expecting 2 to 3 giveaways this week. We're going to win some games. Stephen Castle is going to keep dropping 20 or more, and we play the Mavericks tonight, and the Mavericks are a train wreck. Oh my God. Has a franchise done a 180 any more than them in the Philadelphia 76ers? The Mavericks and the Philadelphia 76ers, just absolute train wrecks this season. Wow. We play them twice this week. We can beat them. We should beat them at least once, right? At least once, but we could beat them at least twice. And yes, I know some of you are like, TSR, you're rooting for wins. I'm rooting for wins so I can do giveaways for you guys, but also I'm going to keep rooting for other teams to lose more. I'm rooting for the Bulls to win some games, I'm rooting for the Atlanta to lose some games, and for us to just win some games here and there. Most importantly, just be competitive and build on the guys we have. See what we got. Demasel, shoot your way out of the slump and show us that you belong here, or at least increase your trade value. Same thing with Kelvin. If any of these guys are going to be on the move in the summer, or the Spurs are going to try to move them, get them playing time, get them shots, increase their trade value, or at least find out if you want to keep them here. Anyway, that's all I got. Your thoughts, Spurs community? Rasheer Fleming. Is this a guy that's been on your radar? Is this a player that you would want if our second pick does fall anywhere between 15, 17? Would you use a lottery pick on him? If the Hawks pick ends up being a later pick at like 13 or 14, would you take him there? Or do you think, he's good, but we need to take somebody, maybe best player available at a position of need at those spots? Hit the thumbs up if you like support the channel. Subscribe, become part of our awesome Spurs community. I'll see you guys tonight from the Mavericks. Let's get a win. Thank you, and as always, go Spurs, go.
Go Spurs, go. 'Cause the Giants